everybody, this is Dave with Deviant.com here. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about an Australian horror movie called The Babadook. Um, the Babadook is basically your typical, it's kind of like a boogeyman story, but the Australian version of that. We all have, I guess, different cultures have their version of the boogeyman, and I think this is the Australian version. And what we have here is, I'll just kind of skim through it real quick. Basically, what we have is a mother. This woman is in the beginning. She's being driven to the hospital. She's pregnant. She's about to give birth. She's in there with her husband. Her husband's driving her. They get into a wreck. Husband dies. She gives birth to the kid. They don't show all this, but it's obviously, it's given that she gives birth to the child. She's raising the child on her own. This kid is he's very attention driven. He wants so much attention to the point where it's driving her insane. Not literally insane, but it's just too much to handle for her. And then on top of that, she still hasn't gotten over the death of her husband. With this film, you already, when it starts, the kid is just yelling and screaming, and you just can't help but just get frustrated yourself with the kid. You just kind of want to even talk to the TV and just be like, why are you acting like this? And you can see it in her face as well, the character's face, that she feels the same way. One evening, she decides that, or the kid wants to read a story, wants her to read a story to him. So she asks him to go ahead and pick one. He pulls out this book, and it's a book that she's never seen before. She starts asking him where he found it from, and he said that it was on the shelf. And the title of it was Mr. Babadook. To me, that name just sounds funny. I can't help but laugh or smile anyway every time I say it, just because it sounds silly, and I think that's kind of what they were going for, just because it sounds so unconventional. A name that could be a title of a book, of a children's book. So anyway, she starts reading him this book, and it seems very innocent at first, but like very quickly, it goes south from there, and it gets very dark and very grim, to the point where they're talking about death in the book, and they're giving this scenario. It's a pop-up book too, so it's kind of crazy. They're giving this scenario that basically the Babadook is like a boogeyman that hides in the rooms, hides under the bed, and things like that. The kid starts freaking out and crying. The mom changes the book, obviously, real quick. She starts reading him something else. But the kid has it in his head, days, weeks later, that the Babadook is there, the Babadook is around, and is messing with him, trying, I guess, screw with him. And she keeps telling him, in typical horror movie parent fashion, there's nothing there. You're just imagining stuff. Little does she know that he is not imagining stuff. She starts kind of seeing things around the house, and seeing certain things that happen, I guess you could say, that starts to convince her, little by little, of this. And again, I don't want to go too much into it, because I really want everybody to see this movie whenever they get a chance. I believe it's going to be released soon here, in the U.S. And it's a great horror movie because it's not your typical type. What you have here is more of a psychological horror film, as opposed to like the blood and gore of your typical U.S. horror film. This one, I thought the greatest thing that I really appreciated a lot as a horror fanatic was that the creature itself, the Babadook itself, um, they didn't really have it too much in the forefront. I don't know if you know what I mean. It's more like it was in the shadows a lot, and you couldn't entirely see. There wasn't necessarily a full reveal, which kind of kept you on the edge of your seat the entire film because you were like wanting to know what it looked like, uh, but at the same time, I think there was like maybe one little glimpse in the film that if you maybe paused it at a certain time, you'd be able to see a full frame of what it looked like. But other than that, you kind of got shadows and brief glimpses here and there, which was really cool. Um, I thought that they made a good use of the lighting, which a lot of it was very dark, for that simple reason, and it was very suspenseful. It kept me, um, I guess, wanting to see more, wanting to know more about what was going to happen throughout the film. So I appreciated that a lot as a horror guy. It's not something that I've really seen before, previously, which is good. Um, the I guess the only thing I guess that I noticed um, that was I guess kind of unique, that I guess that you don't see often, I should say, is that they kind of flip the tables on the characters in a sense. Because, like I said, the kid in the beginning is very just, and I hate to say annoying, but he kind of was. Um, and the mom, you basically felt bad for the mother, and you felt bad for her situation, and you just wanted the kid to just behave, technically. Um, and then as the movie progressed, little by little, like the feelings towards them kind of started doing this, and they flipped, and you started feeling bad for the kid, and you just wanted the mom to just get a hold of herself after a while. Um, but I think the one thing that I did notice was that it had an ending that, and I'm not gonna, this ain't no spoiler or anything like that, but it did have an ending that was a bit vague. It was an ending that I believe it wasn't clear cut. I'll say it was an ending that you can kind of, I guess, make your own assumption to, or if you had like a theory on what it could be, then it was probably going to be one of those things for you. More of like you can interpret it your own way type of deal, which is good. I mean, it's not a bad thing. Um, but I know I spoke to a couple of other people about this movie, and they wanted more of a clear cut ending. I dug the ending that it had, um, but I could understand why people want a little bit more of a clear cut ending. Uh, but this is definitely a film that I suggest to everybody. Um, See it when you can. I believe it's going to be coming out on Blu-ray here in the U.S. Pretty soon, I believe. Maybe within the next like month or so. But if you get a moment, check it out, because this is going to be one that I think it's going to become a cult classic after a while because of how unique it is. It's not something that you'll see every day. So, thanks for watching. Keep checking cinemadivian.com for all your movies, news, reviews, trailers, and whatnot. Be sure to go to iTunes and subscribe to the Botsquad Podcast, where we'll be talking more about games, movies, comics, things like that. And I really do appreciate it. While you're here, subscribe down below, if you will, and give me a thumbs up on this video if you dug it, or a thumbs down on this video if you didn't. Simple as that. Really appreciate it, guys. See you next time.